Hi everyone, welcome to QST's Virtual Hackathon 2020.
We come together to build innovative sports tech ideas. Now, in this quick recap, I want to explain to you what our hackathon consists of and what we're about to witness. Let's start with what we consist of. 155 people have applied to this hackathon in order to participate. From the 155 participants, or requests of applications, we have accepted 70. Very hard selection, a lot of qualified people, and we've been working with the 70 folks over the past 72 hours, and they consist of these backgrounds. 31 nationalities, but all locally living in Qatar, including local Qataris that live in Qatar, of course, as well. So this is a great way to build the ecosystem. Everyone is from Qatar, understands it, and understands how we want to make it a leading sports hub. And that's the focus. In terms of the backgrounds, we have men and women, of course. And as you can see, heavy contribution from the men and as women as well, significant presence. Very happy with that. In terms of the age and the demographic, we have from 18 to 25, good young presence of college students, young professionals, but at the same time, we have an older presence with experienced professionals, higher education, and this is a great combination to have at a hackathon. And speaking of combination, what we see here is typically at our hackathons, we divide the participants into three categories. Hackers, which are typically coders and developers, hipsters, which are normally designers and marketers, and hustlers who are business development and sales professionals. As you can see, we have an even split between them. Along with that, we have a mix of individuals that are hackers and hipsters, or hipsters and hustlers, and a combination of both. Now, in terms of the hackathon goals, what we want to achieve here first and foremost is generate ideas. And we don't want to stop at one idea, we want to generate multiple ideas. And then get right away at testing them. We want to test them in different ways, creative ways, and then validate them and invalidate them as soon as possible in order to get to the next step of building that MVP, that minimal viable product, that prototype that we want to kind of give birth to our startup with. Now, we can't do this without the QST team, the Qatar Sports Tech team, and as you can see, it's a pretty big team with the extension of QDB executives, and we all work very hard to put these programs together and to further develop the Qatari sports tech ecosystem. In terms of how the process has worked over the weekend, is that each team was assigned officers to make sure that they were on track, they were able to get the mentors that they required, understanding their workshops, and the most importantly, at the end of every single day, getting full feedback on all their progress so they know what to work on the next morning. In support of the officers, there were countless amount of mentors that were supporting from all sorts of backgrounds, professional and educational. So we couldn't do it without them. Super happy to have them on board. As you can see, there's a wide list. So another slide showing the countless amount of, a long list of mentors. So thank you so much for the support. In terms of partners, we couldn't do it without them as well. As you know, QDB, which is our founding partner, along with the strategic partners that we work very closely with from the Supreme Committee, BN, Aspire, Qatar Financial Center, and Ministry of Commerce, along with the universities that have collaborated with us by providing mentors and their alumni and their students to contribute. So Hamad bin Khalifa University, Carnegie Mellon University in Qatar, and also we had Sports Corner providing a great first prize that you're going to see in just a bit. Now, in terms of our jury, they're going to be required to witness all the presentations on this third day, and they're going to give their votes in and select the first, second, and third prize places. Our jury consists of Heba Al-Masri, which is our managing director at QST, Hilal Al-Kawari, which is our senior incubation advisor at QDB, Indica from the legacy specialist from Supreme Committee, Johangir, that is the vice president of business development from Qatar Financial Center, Professor George White as a distinguished career professor of entrepreneurship for Carnegie Mellon, Dr. Tariq Al-Ansari from the Hamad bin Khalifa University, and we have Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah Al Thani who is the board member of the Blue Group and founder of Razin Sports on behalf of Sports Corner. Now, our judging criteria involves three components. Desirability from a human aspect. Is there a market? Does anyone want or need this in terms of product? Then you have the viable business aspect of it, which is, does this have a reasonable chance of succeeding? Is it capable of producing a profit or achieving a goal, or achieving the goal that's stated? And then lastly, feasibility. Technically, does this technology exist, or can it be created that can accomplish this at a reasonable cost or an acceptable amount of time? With the combination of these three judging criteria, the judges will choose the winners of this weekend's hackathon. Now, everyone's doing it for the prizes. We have to admit there is a good first prize, so let's go over it. First of all, whoever wins first place, whichever team wins first place, gets the experience being a startup at QST. What does that mean? They get a free office space for 1 month and get to have the mentorship and the coaching to create an MVP, or continue to create the MVP that they've created over this weekend, along with pitch training and presentation workshops from experts. On top of that, they will be shortlisted for the QST Pre-Accelerator program in Tilal, which is launching in November. Additionally, Sports Corner will be providing with a 5,000 Riyal gift card, which is a great shopping spree for the team. And additionally, BN will be giving 5 one-year subscriptions to BN Connect. Lastly, there will be gifts from our Partner Supreme Committee, which will be delivered to them as soon as the winners are announced. Now, second place, close enough and still has a chance to stay in the right track to get their MVP into a stage where it's a prototype and create their traction. And that's why we want to shortlist them for the QST Pre-Accelerator in Tilal, along with mentorship and coaching to create that MVP, further develop the prototype, okay? Third place, what we want to make sure we do is we provide the right mentorship and the coaching for the opportunity to be shortlisted for the QST Pre-Accelerator program. It's not a guaranteed shortlist, but we will do our best to get you that. And finally, we want to see what the pitches consist of that we're about to witness. So there will be 3 minutes of pre-recorded pitching that will be presented to the judges. And right after that, the team will be online with the judges. This will all be done virtual. And they will be there to provide answers to the questions of the judges in the amount of 2 minutes. And then once this is done, the voting will be taken. The votes will be taken and the next group will come in. Now, we have 13 rockstar startups that have been working for the past 72 hours, and really our hats go off to them. They've been online and they've been crunching away, sacrificing their weekend to make the next innovative sports tech idea that's going to contribute to the Qatari ecosystem. So there you have it. These are the startups that you're going to witness. They're going to be coming up in a short amount of time right after the QST program overview that's going to be shown to you. And we're really happy to have you here. This is a creative new way of doing hackathons. Wasn't done before. The challenges of COVID have been very hard, but we've all gone around it. 13 teams have been developed virtually. Over 20 mentors and officers have been contributing over the weekend, and we're still resisting any constraint that's been there to contribute to the ecosystem of Qatar from a sports tech initiative. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you're going to enjoy these presentations, and we can't wait to see the outcome.
While the presentation is being played, everyone please make sure that you're able to hear. If you cannot hear, if there are any issues, please do not hesitate to interrupt and advise us. Only the judges, please. Thank you.
Hi, I am Afreen from Team Brain Endurance. Did you know that athletic performance is 90% mental and 10% physical? But in reality, athletes spend 10% of their time only to train their brain, and 90% of their time is being spent on physical endurance. Moreover, there are limited resources to train the most important organ, the brain. With the rapid growth and competitiveness of the sports industry, it is becoming increasingly important to focus on training the brain in order to come out on top both physically and mentally. Here comes our solution, Braindurance. Braindurance aims to be a regional leader in cognitive training to enhance athletic performance. Its multilingual interface and portability allowed athletes all over the Qatar to train anywhere and everywhere. Through the use of research-based application and gamification that improves the decision-making, reaction time, motor control, coordination of athletes so they can optimize their performance and supplement their training wherever needed, especially during the time of isolation and during any kind of injury. Moreover, our software allows you to monitor and track both your cognitive and athletic performance in order to provide accurate insight on an athletic progress with feedback from sports specialists and scientists. Qatar's sports industry is expected to be growth by 2023 in a range of $19.7 billion, and sports education and wearable accounts for the 1 billion of that chunk. That suggests the growing demand for the technology like Braindurance to enhance sports performance. The initial market are athletes between the age of 18 to 30, and our focus is soccer teams, soccer leagues, and soccer clubs, both professional and amateur, all around the Qatar. And because football is the most popular sport in Qatar, and with approaching FIFA World Cup, this app is sure to take off and revolutionize sports training. How Braindurance sets itself apart because it's easy to use for people with all level of literacy, tailored to local market, offered in Arabic and English, and accessibility for all types of user in the target market. Our business models will be contracts with sports leagues and clubs. It's a B2B model, and with B2C model, it's monthly and annual subscription model with B2C model. Our team includes myself, with a marketing background and marketing and entrepreneurship background. And for the tech, we have Abdullah Kadali, and for the product development, there is Zalekha. For the app development, app development, sports science and onboarding expert, hosting and advertising, our ask is Qatari Riyal 500,000. So join us in the transforming the landscape of sports training anywhere and everywhere.
All right. Well, that was a great presentation. As of now, there is 2 minutes for the judges to ask any questions from the co-founders that are on this call. We will start now.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Dr. Tarek.
So, how are you different from what exists in the market? I see some applications that exist that have workouts and exercises. So how are you different from what exists?
Okay, so over here, our focus is on cognitive development. So the apps out in the market, they focus on physical training. There are limited resources available which focus on specific centers in the brain, which enhance the cognitive development, say decision making, endurance. So there are brain training apps, but they're not tailored to athletes, which is why we want to bring this product, which is catered to cognitive development of athletes, and that would, together with physical development, the mental training will help optimize the athlete's performance.
And I would like to add one more aspect, that it has a bilingual interface, where it is not only the English-speaking, targeting English-speaking population, but it has an interface of Arabic language as well. So that sets us apart from all the other existing apps in the market.
Thank you so much. That is 2 minutes. We do appreciate the presentation and the answers. If there are any follow-ups, please feel free to connect after the call. Thank you so much, Team Endurance. Brain Endurance.
Thank you.
Judges, please feel free to start voting, and I could follow up in a few minutes to make sure everyone's done before.
Quick question, Ali.
Yes.
Is it any possibility that we could do the scoring for all at the end?
It's as you wish, but you know, some judges, if they like while it's fresh to do the scoring, or if you like to do it at the end, it's completely up to you. We could leave maybe 10 minutes at the end to kind of
if you can give me 10 minutes, that's good enough, because I sometimes you have to compare each pitch, that's why.
Fair enough. Anyone have any objections with that? I don't see any issues.
I lost the link for some reason. Is there a way you can send it to me again?
No worries at all. The link will be sent again in the chat now that the teams have been removed.
And Ali, if you can send the question, the scoring questions on the Google link separately, because then we can keep it with us on the side and start like evaluating as the pitch is being done. Because on the Google you have to fill it and then go from screen to screen next.
Understood. So we'll have someone to put it in the side
cool.
in the side chat in just a second while everyone else is voting. My pleasure. Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and queue up the next video for presentation. If there's any issues at all, please do let us know.
We will present to you our application, Qatar AR. So first of all, we are a team of students coming from Carnegie Mellon University, and we are a mixture of hackers, hipsters, and hustlers. We focused on fan zones as the main site, and we found out that there are several problems, but the main ones were the insufficient engaging and informative activities, the lack of navigation instructions, and the inaccessible directions, especially for people with special needs. And so our solution will fix all of these issues by providing engaging activities and rewards while giving information about all the 2022 stadiums and giving accessible directions for everyone. To start off, this is our product. It's an augmented reality application. As you can see, here is a map of the fan zone. The users will enter the fan zone with a banner. They'll see that there is an application that they can download on their phone. They'll scan the code and they'll find the different features that it has. There are several barcodes spread around the fan zones where users can scan to unlock several stadiums. As shown on the right figure, you can see the user has scanned the barcode and the stadium has popped up as an augmented reality. There is information about the stadium and so on. There will also be like famous players explaining more about the stadiums and welcoming the guests. And also there will be a mini game where users can play once they unlock any barcode. And so users will continue to unlock all barcodes, and this will push them to discover the fan zones and stay there longer. Once they're done, they will receive different rewards, and these could be like a free meal or several discounts. In addition to giving or showing information about the 2022 stadiums, we'll also give directions using augmented reality. As you can see, here's a video of a tutorial that we have created. They can log in into the application. These are the different features available. This is a tutorial of how to use it. And once they're done, they can start playing the game.
So there is a big opportunity in the market, and it is estimated by the PwC that the global market of the augmented reality is 1.4 trillion pounds. And if we were to implement our idea locally, and specifically the FIFA World Cup in 2020, which is estimated by the data to have 5 million tourists, we can see that we could make 2.5 million people use our app. So our application will differentiate us between our competitors through the AR directions. So there will be directions using AR, and then there will be augmented reality activities, and then there will be prizes as well. So now moving into the channels, we are looking to channel our app through a B2B kind of structure where we will be targeting the Ministry of Culture and Sports, which has power and money. And from there, we could get our app in the hands of the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy and Aspire Zone. And also there are also other organizations that we can use. Now moving on into the revenues, we will majorly generates revenue from ads and commissions on sales. And more specifically, 36% of our revenue will be generated from commissions and 64% would be generated from ads.
AR is a promising and emerging technology, and we hope that you can help us.
All right, thank you so much. Judges, you have 2 minutes for any questions, and those giving answers, I would recommend that you give short answers so you can answer more questions. Please proceed.
Okay, quick question. How long will it take to develop this product to be fully functional?
It will depend on.
It will depend on the partners that we will agree with. Like, for example, today we have spoken to a person from AR Luca, yeah, and they're willing to develop our application since they make use of augmented reality. So it depends on them on how long they'll take.
Okay.
It looks like you actually had to go to the physical location to scan a barcode in order to use it. Is that right? I mean, is it possible to get the details on a stadium without being physically close?
So the current design is that you scan an existing physical barcode to get the augmented reality display on your phone. This is using the marker-based augmented reality technology. If we wanted to change that, we can use a geolocation-based augmented reality technology so that we don't use the physical codes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We have about, okay, time is up. All right, well, Team Innovators, thank you so much, and good luck, and thank you for joining us. Judges, please proceed with voting. Any issues, please. Team 3, Jack and Cody.
So most of us enjoy sports events like this, either live from stadiums or from the comfort of our homes with our friends and families. But there are literally hundreds of millions of people across the world that watch sports events like this. And that is the problem that we here are trying to solve. Visually impaired sports fans are unable to properly experience and enjoy sports games like millions of us do, and we need to be more inclusive. So far we have Cafe, which is basically an initiative started by FIFA to include audio descriptive commentary, and we have websites sponsored by FIFA that are blind friendly.
So the solution that we propose is a specialized device that makes use of haptic technology and acts as an accessory to mobile phones and tablets. So not only does this give visually impaired sports fans an immersive experience anywhere from either home or at the stadium, it also gives sporting organizations an opportunity to provide, to improve inclusion through accessibility. So the device that we propose is a regular trackpad with a grid of vibrators that can be seen on the right. And for this, we also developed an application, and the prototype is here, that will allow our device to be used as an accessory to mobile devices and/or tablets. So the application itself uses a live object tracking algorithm to track the ball and create vibration patterns accordingly, as you can see in this video. And so a lot of people overlook the market for special needs sports fans, but if we look at the 285 million visually impaired people around the world, if we take only 1/7 of that population, we still are left with 45 million visually impaired sports fans that we would still have to cater for.
So our product is different from other products in the market because it combines audio and haptic senses to make it a more immersive experience, and it can act as an accessory so people can enjoy matches from their home. So we want potential partnerships to help boost this product with the Supreme Committee that's in charge of the FIFA 2022 World Cup, FIFA itself, and other organizations in terms that support the acquiring of data and technology. For monetization, we want to use these official entities and organizations that we partner with, and eventually go to e-commerce and subscriptions. So what we need is technical support for the hardware, technological support for the algorithm, infrastructural support for the data, and partnerships for awareness and outreach. So we have a diverse team with backgrounds in finance and different genres of programming that can bring this product to life. So imagine this, at FIFA 2022, for the first time, an audience will sit and enjoy football, the sport so many across the globe love. It's not just those that have the gift of vision. It's those who are visually impaired who will also enjoy sitting side by side with the rest of us. And that is the kind of inclusivity that we want to bring in the FIFA 2022 World Cup.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Team Jack and Cody, thank you so much for that. They are now on board. Judges, please, you have 2 minutes to ask any questions. Those answering, I would limit my questions, my answers to a very short and brief one, so you could answer as many as possible. Please go ahead.
I have a question. I want to know more about the device. So, how big is it? My first question, do they have to carry it around with them? So if they go to the stadium, and are you building the device from scratch?
So the device itself is similar in size to a trackpad, which is more or less the same size as a tablet. And the device can either be given out by stadiums themselves, or it can be used as an accessory with your mobile devices or your laptops. And for the technology, the individual components exist. It's just that putting them together in this fashion is something that's still a bit experimental.
Any other questions? We still have a bit of time.
Yes, I was wondering about how you came across this idea and what experience do you have that would make you successful in completing this?
So for all of us, like on the team, we're actually big sports fans, and we're all university students as well. And so we have a lot of we have a few students in university who are visually impaired as well. And so watching sports matches together was always like a thing we did. And like our visually impaired friends like often sort of communicated their struggle to us. And like everyone's excited about FIFA 2022 happening, right? And so we want like people who are visually impaired to sort of share that excitement that we have as well. And so and in terms of why we can make this work is because not only are we personally motivated to do this, but we're also like I believe technically capable of at least.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, and thank you, Team Jack and Cody. Your 2 minutes is up. We really appreciate your presentation, hard work. Best of luck. So, please, judges, go ahead and proceed to start making the votes. And thank you, participants, for joining.
Thank you.
Okay, so votes are in. We will proceed with the next team's presentation, MediCoach.
Hello, my name is Yaqub Ansari, member of Team MediCoach, and represent you MediPatch, the sports medic on the go. It is a patch sensor for athlete health and safety. Did you know that 2 in 5 players suffer from a muscle-related injury in their game, and this costs their club over $1.5 million per year? What if I told you that this injury could have been predicted and prevented, and that the club would have saved this medical expense? Well, for this, we provide you MediPatch. The problem with existing technology is that most of them require players to be in a medical clinics or a medical setting and require heavy, expensive, and bulky instruments for testing. And most of them don't provide any during the game data for solving this issue. So our solution, MediPatch, the muscle injury predictor and preventer tool. How it works is simple. You place the patch on any part of the body, get going on with your workout, and you're good to go. We can collect clinical grade data from players in real time without having them to wear any bulky wired devices or making them play in a new environment. This is done by implementing predictive algorithms on the real-time collected data of the player's electrolyte levels and alerting the coach on any potential injury. The algorithm can predict up to 15 minutes in the game with an accuracy of over 93%. The coach is immediately alerted if there is a potential muscle injury in the player, be it cramps, hamstring, or even simple muscle overexertion, and the coach has adequate time to take the appropriate actions. Our business model is the freemium model followed with direct sales. Our primary targets are second and third division football clubs in Qatar, and our secondary markets are gym, fitness association, and rehab centers. Our product for a club includes a pack of patch sensors and app accessories and a free year of data services and maintenance. In the freemium phase, we provide limited electrolyte readings and moderate predictive features for free and the advanced features for a price of $500 per player. The variable market for medical sports tech has been increasing exponentially, and it's been expected to hit over $46 billion by the year 2026. It is also estimated that second and third division clubs pay 17% of their revenue on medical treatment, which is around $1.5 million an year, and this is what we aim to target and lower for these clubs. Our customers are clubs like Al Wab and Al Shamal, as well as associations like Anytime Fitness and Espetar Rehab Center. Our competitions are companies like Torque Labs, Zybe Experts, and Stat Sports, but they are limited to bulky, expensive technology and are centered on performance monitoring rather than injury prevention. We, on the other hand, provide lightweight sensors with low power and convenience and easy to use, and which help in injury prevention. Thank you for your time, and we hope you like our product.
Thank you so much, MediCoach. I would like to open the floor up for the judges to ask their questions. A kind reminder to the ones answering, keep it brief and short so you can answer as many as possible for your own benefit. Please go ahead.
Yeah. What's your competitive advantage? Aren't there so many other wearable devices like this out there in the market?
We believe that our product is unique and new compared to the other existing technology out there is because firstly it is for injury prevention and most of the devices out there monitor performance, and it's more of a predictive technology rather than something that tells you that an injury has occurred or where the injury has occurred. It can predict 15 minutes in advance that the player has a potential chance of having an injury, and hence gives you more room to prevent it from occurring in the first place.
So the little needles in it, I mean, how do they get, you get blood samples to get the blood chemistry?
No, so the sensor patch is how it works is it analyzes the sweat of the player and measures the electrolyte levels in the player's body, and these electrolyte levels can be used to determine if the player is gonna suffer a muscle related injury. So like electrolytes like calcium, magnesium, they are monitored by an algorithm, and it can help you predict if the player is gonna have an injury if they fall below a certain threshold.
Thank you.
So you're using sweat to collect your data. Do you know about this technology? Do you have any experience in it? There's very little, products and wearables that use this kind of that go this way and use sweat as a source of for data collection. Can you tell me a little bit about how much you know about it?
Oh, yeah, sure. So we know that this technology already exists, and it was actually developed in University of California, Berkeley for another research on their football players or something. And so we had adapted to use this fragment from there. And so we know that this technology works and it exists and it has been implemented, but just not in this direction.
Great, thank you
Thank you.
so much. Really appreciate the presentation and all the hard work. Really appreciate your time, team. Please, judges, please proceed with the voting, and thank you again to the team for their great presentation. All right, we're ready to go. Here's Team Potence.
Hello everyone, we're Team Potence, and today we're going to be talking about our application called Sportsiv. So today we're going to be going over all these different parts in our slides. But before we begin, we want to ask you a question. So have you ever been uncomfortable attending an event because it didn't accommodate your basic needs? Well, that's actually the reality of many different people with disabilities.
Many people with disabilities tend to avoid sports events because they can only enjoy them by watching them at home. People with visual disabilities cannot see what's going on in the game. At home, they can rely on a commentator to understand what's going on. And people with hearing disabilities are able to watch the game at the sports event, but they feel more comfortable at home because they can read the closed captions of the commentator. However, according to Bollinger and Rayner, only about 5% of deaf individuals become excellent readers and read at or above the 12th grade level.
Thus, we have decided to create an application targeting people with hearing and visual impairments to fully immerse them into the experience when they are at home and accommodate their needs when they are at the venue. This is by using accessibility features for the PWD, using commentator and referee audio for the visually impaired at the stadium and at home, and using sign language for deaf people by having different point of views on camera around the stadium, and also having cameras on players that targets our audience to have a more immersive fan experience. And we also aim to have additional features such as chat box and stories.
So this takes us to our prototype that we have developed over the weekend to showcase our application. So once the user sign into their account, they can choose the sport category. And for example, let's go with football, and then they can choose the tournament, the match that they want to watch. And this is just an example that we've created to show how it would be seen. So as you can see here, this is the sign language commentator, and this is the point of view camera that the viewers are going to see. So we also have the settings to change the settings of the audio on the camera as they like. So going back to our presentation.
So moving on to the market opportunity, we found that 1 in 7 people are disabled worldwide. And this shows us that there is a market that's required, especially in the sporting market. And that's our main focus. So moving on to the differentiation, our application specifically targets the people with disabilities by ensuring that all their needs are met. We will also incorporate, as previously mentioned, the point of view and the VR experience. And finally, we'll also have something that's never done before, which is including the sign language of the commentators' words as it is live. And we also aim to sell our application using application stores, advertising in sport channels, and supplying and integrating software companies that already cater our focus in this app using MindRockets and Sphonex. And for our business model, we decided to have a subscription-based model. For example, 60 riyals for 3 months and 180 for 12 months. Also using advertisements, and we also have we're going to use B2B and B2C to serve the customers and business. And this is our team. And in terms of funding, we aim to target the Qatar Financial Center, Bean Media Group, and Qatar Sport Accelerator. This is our logo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Potence. They're on the call, ready for the judges' questions. Team Potence, just a quick advice, keep your answers short and brief so you can answer as many as possible. You have 2 minutes. Judges, whenever you're ready.
Is there a live function? So subscribers can listen and or watch games live? So live commentary?
Yes, it's intended for live broadcasting. And we'll also have a highlights page for the future.
So can I ask for just quick clarification? Is this just an animated AI kind of solution? Or how does it work exactly?
So basically, go ahead.
So as we mentioned earlier in the video, we're going to be sponsoring with collaborating with businesses that already serves this function, which is Sponex. So we decided that when we include Sponex into our app, it's going to be a live shot of the whole game, and we also thought about the cameras around the stadium to broadcast it live.
Not the broadcasting visual part, but the translation, the sign language translation.
So
yes,
yeah.
The sign language will be animated. So we found a few applications that can translate audio to sign language. So we intend to collaborate with them to use them.
Thank you.
All right, looks like the time is up. Thank you so much, Team Potence. A lot of hard work behind this project. Really appreciate it, and best of luck. Judges, please proceed with voting, and thank you for coming in, Team Potence. You may leave now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. So that we got all the votes in. We're going to proceed with the next team, Concept Crew.
The average capacity of FIFA stadiums for 2022 is around 47,500. We are going to have both local and international spectators visiting the stadiums for the first time. This unfamiliarity, along with the huge sizes of the stadiums, is likely to inhibit the spectators from efficiently navigating the stadiums themselves. Moreover, as spectators ourselves and through surveys, we have realized that majority of the people within the stadium purchase food before the start of the match and during the game breaks, which result in huge queues and waiting times for the spectators. This potentially causes fans to miss some of the action once the game resumes. Lastly, it is a no-brainer that out of the average of 43,000 spectators attending the match, only a handful of VIPs ever get to interact and take pictures with the athletes. Our solution is Suhula. We have a simple and intuitive AR navigation system that guides you to your seats, nearest restrooms, merch stores, and food stalls within the stadium. Additionally, you can see a visual representation of the stadium, which makes it much easier for you to spot which gate you must enter the stadium from. We allow fans to take pictures with their favorite celebrities using augmented reality. As we have shown Ronaldo in our prototype here, we hope to enhance the models to make them more lifelike for the fans to have a better experience. Finally, we allow you to order food from your seats, which helps you skip the long queues in the food stalls, and you never have to miss a moment of the match. Based on these scenarios, we observed 3 problems: inability to navigate in and around the stadium, missing the action due to long queues at food stalls, and limited interaction with the stars. In terms of the market size, since our current focus is on the football world, we roughly estimate it to be about $42 billion. In terms of our business model, we make money through augmented reality advertisements embedded within certain aspects of our application, a stadium mapping fee which we charge to map out stadiums using our AR technology, microtransactions which will allow the users to purchase AR models of their favorite athletes to take pictures with, and finally, a transaction fee which will be charged for every order made using our application. In terms of competitors, we have Penguin Inn, who provide 2D indoor navigation solutions for stadiums, and we have ASAPP, who provide an in-stadium food ordering and delivering system. We differ from our two primary competitors because we make indoor navigation intuitive and user-friendly due to the use of augmented reality, and we provide an entire experience by adding the food ordering or delivery system and the ability to take pictures with your favorite athletes into one application. In terms of our team, we have myself, Rahil Ahmed, the CTO, Fahim Khan, the COO, and Hassan Nadeem, the CEO of Suhula. We would like to implement our idea starting with football in Qatar. Our vision for the future would be to implement our idea for various sports tournaments and stadiums around the world. Additionally, we plan to expand our product to include other sports such as basketball, baseball, and so on, because we want every sport fan to enjoy the match and not have to worry about the other hassles that come with it. Our end goal is to create an unforgettable experience for sports fans all across the globe. We've got a great team, a great product, and we want to make Suhula a reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Concept Crew, for that excellent presentation and hard work. First, for the judges to ask questions for the next 2 minutes. Time reminder to the ones answering, try to keep it brief so that we can answer as many as we can with your time.
Okay. My first question is basically, have you all thought about how the delivery of the food is going to happen? If you're looking at 40,000 plus people in a stadium, have you looked at what the number of average orders that are going to happen in every minute and how you're going to supply them?
So what we have thought about is we have kept the food delivery feature as a kind of a premium feature. So what we are doing from our side is encouraging our users to actually pick up the order, and that's why we have kept a bit of a premium fee so that if they wish to, they can get the food delivered to themselves.
What if everyone wants the premium option?
I mean, realistically speaking, even with the current talaba that we have in the region, delivery takes quite a lot of time. And so that's why we had both features where you can navigate through AR to reach the food stalls and pick up the food on real time. So that way, the restaurants will let you know as soon as the food is done. So you don't need to really waste time and just go and wait for the food. And if the users decide a delivery option, then they would just have to be realistic with the expectation that there are 40,000 spectators in the stadium, and that will take some time. So instead of they going and picking up themselves would be faster than expecting for a delivery option, which is why we kept both options here.
Okay.
We have another 20 seconds left. All right, so that's about the time that was for Q&A. Thank you so much. Judges, please proceed with the voting. And Concept Crew, thank you so much for your pitch, and you may leave now. Thank you for all your hard work. Go ahead. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start Team Psychic.
And they have the same similar issue, that is pressure of fans, pressure of the team, pressure of their career. And this all goes into their emotions, and it affects their mental health and their performance as well. Hence, David Cox, being our case study, has actually addressed it to his club, and he got the help that he needed. And based on this case study, we would like to offer the same help to other footballers and sports people. So the problem and the mental health issue is that when addressed, it can be dealt in a positive manner, and when failed to be addressed, can result in a devastating loss. Providing anonymity to a player's identity to connect with the healthcare counselor, or as we like to call buddy, to get the help they need. The solution is online web platform connecting footballers with counselors anonymously. Hence our app Mukalma. And the features of the app include anonymity, and location-based real-time maps, and the chat and call screens, as you can see. So our market opportunity, as you can see that we've done research in, saw that the studies have shown 1 in every 4 footballers suffers from depression, and this is just one of the many mental health issues. Differentiation it is specific for the sports person, and as of now, it's just for footballers, networking and learning. is based on elder footballers can actually coach or even help out the younger footballers. Solid research base is because right of now we don't have enough data of sports person mental health. Our growth vision is from Qatar to all around the world, and our sports expansion is football to all the sports. Traction based on our recent market survey last night, we have found that 3 footballers in India are ready to try the application, and counselors from Singapore and Malaysia are willing to sign up as buddies. Our business model is based on commission base and similar to Uber, and it is based on the sessions. Financials, as you can see, it is from Qatar part to GCC as a whole. As you can see, the revenue is exponential. This is our team of talents. And the funding is the development cost and the marketing cost together costs around $14,000. The timeline, as you can see, 2020 summer, we have the validation of the idea, market study, and startup registration. And by the fall of 2021, we have started to expand to GCC countries. Mukalma, thank you.
Thank you so much, team. It seems that the audio and the presentations weren't as synced as we would like, but I'm hoping that everyone is able to follow along. Please, judges, you're able now to ask any questions for 2 minutes. And the team, please try to keep your answers short so you can answer as many as possible. Judges, you may proceed with any questions now.
You mentioned about the matching concept, but the metric about matching wasn't clear for me. For example, let's say a specific athlete, how that athlete will be matched. Will there be a specific questionnaire where they will type it in and they will mention what's anxiety, what are their problem, and then it will automatically match counselor from Singapore, counselor from UK, etc. How this matching technology will work?
Okay, so let me take that question. We have 3 filtering criteria for now. We can of course expand it. Number 1, language. Number 2 is location, and number 3 is exactly his mental state right now. Is he anxious, depressed? Does he have an injury, and things like that? So these 3 are our main filtering criteria for now.
How will you onboard your mental health providers? What will you look for? Will you go through a vetting process? And how would you go about scheduling?
Okay, so for this, we will be tying up, we have decided to go 2 ways. One is through the hospitals, and another is through the colleges which have this curriculum of sports tech. Like in Qatar also, we have some curriculum on those lines. We want to expand, we want to popularize our idea among these universities and health institutions, and we hope to get more people signing up from there.
Mainly within the guidelines of American Psychological Association, mainly within those guidelines and guidelines of the local and regional psychiatry association.
I have one question. So why do you think someone getting advice through an application is better than one-to-one therapy, considering that one-to-one therapy is also, it may not be anonymous, but it's confidential?
Thank you so much, judges. Thank you so much, Team SciTech. We're out of time. If you would like to follow up afterwards, feel free, and we can help make the connection. But for this time, it is now time to vote for the judges. And for Team SciTech, thank you so much for your hard work. You may leave now.
Okay.
All the votes are now in. Thank you so much. If Dr. Tarek, you need a minute to do the vote for concept.
It's okay.
Okay, we're going to go with waves now. This is team number 8.
So hello everyone, this is Team Waves. We would like to thank you for this great opportunity. Zainab Khalifa is speaking, and I have my team, Manna, Nada, and Nimra. We're a cross-functional team of computer scientists, sports scientists, architectural engineers, and also mathematicians. We have analyzed some of the problems that might happen in the World Cup hosted in Qatar. We have great stadiums, great facilities, great design, and also great capacities. So when you try to fit this great number of people into a time frame without a process, things get like this. A lot of crowds, a lot of congestion in the parking slots, in the streets, and also long queues for public transportation. So we thought of an idea to manage this process a bit more, and we decided to have an application where people can book the tickets and to choose a time frame where they will show up to the stadium. So we're trying to achieve a distribution of this huge number of people over groups. Definitely, it will not be an even distribution, but at least a distribution. Why would people accept this restriction? First, we will make sure that we distribute people over time and also over locations, so we avoid congestion in areas in Qatar. Also, if you're an international visitor and you would like to have the experience, have a tour around Qatar before the match, and the bus will make sure that you arrive in the time slot that you have selected, we can do that for you. Also, if you arrive early on time, you will enjoy the great shows that we'll have in the stadium, and also you will have full guidance on where to park, where's the nearest gate, and the estimated time arrival, starting from leaving your house until you reach the stadium. So from the other end, stadiums will also track this process so that they can optimize within the same day of the match and also for future games. So this application will not only be used for the World Cup, but also Qatar regularly hosts sports events internationally and locally, and this application will be used. Speaking of the money, last but not least, so we will take a percentage on the tickets. The tickets also come with additional charges for the add-ons that we have, the Doha bus, the water taxi, and also some meals. It can be also an international marketplace for the future. We're requesting for funding for the resources of the development, working space, development stack, and also to reach to the stadiums and the sponsors. That's it for the presentation today, and we'll leave it for an open discussion with the judges. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Waves, for that amazing presentation and all your hard work. The judges can proceed with any questions for the next 2 minutes. Just Team Waves, quick advice to limit your answers to as short as possible to be able to answer as many questions as possible. Coaches, whenever you're ready. Sorry, I meant judges.
Did you mention about the revenue model? I don't know whether I missed it.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hear you.
Yes, so is this a question for us?
Yes, about the revenue model. Did you mention that or did I miss it?
Yes, no, it's the last slide, yes.
Ali, can you quickly show that, please? Is it possible? Like,
We'll have to load up the slide while we do that. Any other questions?
So I have a quick question. Sorry, John. John.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Is this that it depends on where you sit and that's the time that you have to show up, or was there an option to choose what time you prefer to show up?
Time. It's the time to prefer when to show to the team, not to the place exactly.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because we did receive a video and not the deck, we're trying to locate the part where the business model, but we don't seem to have.
that's okay. That's okay, Ali.
Maybe they can just explain business model.
If you can quickly explain the business model, the revenue model at least.
Yes, so we have a slide, the last slide that has the in and out. So by end, it's the money that will come for us. So we're taking a commission on the tickets. Also, we have integrations with third parties like Doha Bus and the water taxis and so on, and we can also add this price on the ticket and get a percentage on this. And in future, this will be a marketplace that will have international visitors. It can be something later on like TripAdvisor, or restaurants can advertise on our platform. So that's it. For the out is the funding request that we have.
Thanks so much.
Okay,
got it.
Thanks so much. We're out of time for the questions. We do really appreciate all your hard work, Team Waves. And judges, you may proceed with voting. Team Waves, thank you for joining us. You may leave now. Thank you. Professor White, if you're just finishing up your votes, that's fine. But if you've submitted, we have not received. And we're going to slowly start presenting Yalla Stadium, which is Team 9.
You all today. Now, how many times have you went through to sports events? You went to the stadium and found parking difficulties. You might find there are no parking spots available, so you might have to park on the sidewalk. What if you are late to the match, or you're waiting for food, and you miss part of the match? When you enter and exit, there might be a lot of crowds, so you might have to leave early, and miss some of the match in order to get there, to get home on time. Now, all of these pains prevent us from achieving a good stadium experience, and so we feel all of this pain, and so we believe it's time for innovation. And here we have innovation in the form of the Yalla Stadium. With Yalla Stadium, you can pre-book your car parking, so you can park at your leisure. We have car parking barrier technology to ensure that only those who book a specific spot are able to access said spot. We also have food delivery from the stadium's canteen to your seat. Now, what would happen is on the day of the actual event, we would order units of food based on our expectations, and then those will be delivered to people who order it, so they don't have to leave their seat and miss the match. Now, we also have guiding and tracking of less traffic for fans and exit and entry. This would show the fans which gates are less crowded or more crowded, and then you'll be able to leave and enter the stadium easily. Now, here is our product and some features and the methodology with the technology that I mentioned before. And Roshan will be talking more about this.
As you enter the application, you're greeted by this screen. And once you press Get Started, you have 4 options. That's parking, food delivery, live updates, and avoid crowds. Exploring the parking option, you can book your spot. And once you enter in all your details, you can select your spot and your parking is booked. For the food delivery, you can choose different vendors available at the stadium, and you can select your food and proceed to payment, and you get your food right in your seat. And live updates will give you live matches so that you don't miss any of the actions which is there at the moment. And avoiding crowds, it will give you the best exit and entry route to the stadium without any hassle.
Thank you, Roshan. Now, we looked at the data. We conducted some surveys and found that 95.5% of people are willing to download an app that solves these pains. And that presents a percentage of the market size that we can use, that is accessible, we can take advantage of or capitalize on. And now the market size obviously depends on the size of the event. Maybe with the World Cup, it's 40 to 80,000 per match. Local might be local matches 1 to 10,000 people. Now, what makes our app different? Now, our app integrates with existing technology in a context and form never seen before with stadiums. Our closest competitor, I guess, would be valet car parking, but we provide an excellent level of security and privacy to ensure that maybe you're that there won't be anyone who will be inside the car outside of you. And we're also in the process of copywriting with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Now, our growth strategy is a shared growth strategy, bringing revenue to clubs and vendors. We would partner with them and provide commission, 80% commission from booking car parking and 20% to clubs, so we both benefit. 40% commission from food delivery, which is less than Talabat, encourages 19%. So even if they enter the market, we still have an advantage with vendors. Here is our team, and thank you.
So now, Yalla Stadium, thank you so much for that presentation. Now it's going to be about 2 minutes for the voting and for the questions. Please try to keep your answers as brief as possible to answer as many as you can. Coaches, judges, it is up to you now to ask the questions. Please go ahead.
So I'll jump in here then. Your business, it will only work, as far as I understood, during times of events. So how do you sustain the business when there's no events or sporting events happening?
Actually, it is sorry, I'm just regarding the business is not only for the sport. It's designed to book the car parking. For example, it can be available any place. For example, you can use it even in Katara and Village or whenever the company willing to have a special area for some people, many people like to get a car parking area close to the entrance. So in this case, we become like a competitor of valet parking by using technologies adapt with our apps. So we are people when coming, they will book early before they arrive to their place.
Okay, understood.
My question is in regards to the food delivery system. This is much different than the parking idea that you have, and it's going to be two completely different businesses. How do you find that you will manage to succeed in both?
It is the delivery system is completely different than car parking. You are right in this case. So we are actually doing there is many ways to deal with the two items in one app. So it's not difficult for us since we are not involving in direct or in charge to have these items all together in one time. So we have it in phases, but however, we are trying to see which one is much feasible, which one was much easiest, and we go to implement it. Then we go to second stage, that delivery. But however, we're going to write the copyright. We are in process to writing the copyright on to have these two ideas to be copyright, so nobody will do it in future.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the answers, and thank you so much, Yalla Stadium, for the great presentation. Judges, you may proceed with the voting. Yalla Stadium, thank you for joining us. You may leave now. All right, all the votes are in. Thank you for that. We're going to proceed with team number 10, which is Cheerface.
Hi, did you know that 29% of fans went to venues with their families? Remaining 71% went alone or just with friends. You know why? As per 2016 study, the venues are not engaging the fans enough at individual and family level due to lack of match atmosphere, are we family oriented, as well as stadium infrastructure and stadium services. Well, welcome to Cheermate. We've got the solution for you, the investors, as well as the leagues and the venue operators. Cheer with your mate to the next level. Our product is different. We'll show you how. And we'll show you the potential growth opportunities on the primary market for the sports entertainment and secondary one and our team structure. Problem here, like I said, leagues and venues are not engaging their fans enough. You see third-party sellers outside the streets selling flags and hats, and that's it. You're not seeing fans engaged at the physical level with their friends and family at the venues. You're not seeing them showing their pride. They're just wearing their clothing, what have you. They just bought this off the street and they just come into the venue or the stadium, and that's it. We have a big gap in terms of bringing potential sponsors at the local, national, international tournaments to further engage the leagues, the venue operators, and us, Cheermate, to bring fan loyalty to the next level. There are no entertaining tools available at venues to support the teams. Our solution is one physical sticker or mask that is digitally scalable to bring revenue for us, for you, the investors, and for the leagues and the venues operators. You can have a sticker that can go on your hand The sticker is in a package with a QR code in Arabic and English that further engages the fans and directs them to the digital platform and how to purchase more venue associated products and services. And you can have national, local, international sponsors on the packaging to further promote their brand and further engage them. The market opportunity is huge, where we can start with local, regional, and international tournaments that are coming up, and we partner with the such sponsors to promote their brands and show fan loyalty at the individual and family and even group levels. We can create a great engagement opportunity at the physical level within the venue and even the digital platform. And you can have QR codes and promotions that are venue oriented, that where the sky is the limit. Our team is made up of 4 individuals, myself, CEO, Arafa, Sultana, and Sultan. If you have any questions, feel free to come to us. Cheermate, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Team Cheermate, for that great presentation, all the hard work. Judges may proceed with 2 minutes of questions, and please, Team Cheermate, limit your answers so you could answer as many as possible. Judges, you may proceed now.
I was unclear about how you unite fans. So I understand that there's a sticker, there's a barcode, and then what happens?
So at that level, from the fans' perspective at the groups, you basically have the loyal fans. When they purchase the tickets, they'll get the tattoo, so you'll guarantee the revenue in advance. We engage them further at the fan zones outside the stadiums, so those that don't enter the stadiums. You can engage them further with volunteers who distribute the tattoos with a QR code. So not just going to go at the individual family levels, but also groups at the fan zones.
You started your pitch with stating that most people go to the games with friends rather than family. How are you targeting that problem, or is this a solution to that problem at all?
So, well, basically, once we have more customer surveys on site with further trials, we have some local events. We can have better traction with the customers at local events. So we can broadcast that on the social media and promote it and say, here's the family element to it. You can have kids with the stickers on their faces, and those who would want to avoid the faces and put their arms and hands. We can show that, reflect that the fans are engaging and the families are sharing their pride at their individual level, and broadcast it social media and better promote the brand. And also the leagues and the sponsors put them in there at the forefront as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Time's up for the questions. Judges, you may proceed with the voting. And Team Cheermate, thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you for joining us. You may leave now. All right, judges, thank you so much for your votes. We're going to proceed with second to last team, AAA.
About match data and footage capture system for amateur sports. But before we get into that, let me tell you about my favorite goal in football. It was the Cristiano Ronaldo overhead kick against Juventus in the Champions League quarterfinal. This goal sparked a lot of media coverage and interest. It was an unforgettable moment in football, and I'll get back to it later to tell you about it. But first, let me tell you about Laib. So the problem statement that we're trying to fix is that popular smart wearables are not built for team sports like football. So the Apple Watch, the Samsung Watch, any of these are used more for individual sports, not for group sports like football or team sports. So that's the first problem. Second problem is that memorable games that you play with your friends are easily forgotten after the game because you only rely to tell them through verbal stories. So our solution is to build a web platform where amateur team sport players can rent smart wearables to get data insights and match footage with a smart AI camera to share it with the world and save money because you're using an affordable data capture system. So our customer segmented any pitch renting service, whether it's physical, like Al-Bida, Qatar Sports Club, Aspire 5-a-side pitches, or digital like Malaib app or any of the apps used to rent pitches in Qatar. There's thousands of these pitches in Qatar. There's no connective system tying them together. Millions of minutes are being played on these pitches and nobody is paying attention to it. What do? We use three components to capture data and present it. So the first is any smart wearable or fitness watch that's equipped with a GPS like the Garmin Forerunner. Second is an AI full pitch camera that records the entire pitch. And the third is our Laib app. So the app gives you four main features. The first is physical stats, so standard fitness stats that you get from any smartwatch. The second is data insights. So this, we actually take the data from the smart wearable, like the fitness watch, and we process it in a unique way to give you data or insights related to football specifically, like heat maps, what type of position that you like to play, and all that stuff. The third, from the camera, we get the match footage, and we cut it into 3 to 5 minute highlights of the goals, and we give it to you. And the fourth and the most important one, in the premium feature of the app, is data insights and event data and individual match footage. So you get goals scored, assists, tackles, all the stuff that you did in the match, and the complete match footage of you in the game. This comes in 3 packages. The free package is just only the data insights. The second is data insights plus match highlights. And the third is data insights, match footage, and complete event data breakdown, so goals, assists, all that stuff. There's no competition really other than high-end brands that make GPS vests for tracking data for football, but that's just data insights and physical stats, no match footage. Professional sports filming companies can be used to record amateur football games, but it's too expensive for amateurs. Our vision is to develop our own tracking wearable to use in match later on, to become the Opta Sports for amateur leagues, partnering with the leagues themselves, and to have a database of local talent that we can share with people. Conclusion, professional football has progressed, but amateur football remains stagnant. It's time to bring it to the 21st century. This is Ronaldo's memorable goal, his favorite goal. This was my memorable goal. Thank you for listening.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Team AAA, for that great presentation. It is now up to the judges to ask questions for the next 2 minutes. Team AAA, I suggest that you keep your answers brief to answer as many as possible. Please proceed, judges.
I don't understand if there are 2 devices. I gather that the athlete wears a device and then there's another external device that's taking a picture of the pitch. Or what?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just connected. Can you repeat that question, please?
Yeah, I wonder if there are 2 devices. Is there something being worn by the athlete on the field? And is there a separate device that's on the edge of the field to take a picture of the entire field?
Yeah, so these are the 2 components of the data capture system. So one is a wearable, a smartwatch, so an Apple Watch or a Garmin watch or any type of watch. And the second is an AI camera. It's called the VO camera, actually, that's used to record football matches.
Okay, and does the person that's taking advantage of the service, they don't purchase these things, or do they lease them? They wear them just for the game? You rent them?
So you rent them, yes. So that's what we offer. If you don't have a wearable that's equipped with a GPS, you can rent it from us. If you have one that's equipped with a GPS and you like it, you want to use it, you can use your own smartwatch or whatever wearable that you want to use. The camera would have to be rented, so that's a part of the 3 packages. The first package just doesn't include any of that. It's completely free. But the second package, so you get a wearable from us that you rent, and you get the camera as well that's rented for the time of your game.
Okay, it's clear. Thanks.
Who operates the camera? How does it track the player on the pitch? I mean, does it have a wide lens or one
so
view?
the camera has AI in it, and actually built inside of it there are 2 lenses for 2 cameras. So it has an AI that automatically tracks the movement of the ball on the pitch, and the 2 cameras record both sides of the pitch. So the final footage that you get is actually the complete pitch, but you can focus on which area do you want, the area with the ball, or you want to look at the other side and see the defense. So that's what the camera provides.
Thank you so much for that answer. We're up on the 2 minutes. If you would like to continue discussion, more than happy to make the connection after the this video call. So now it is up for the judges to make the votes. Team AAA, thank you so much for your presentation and your time.
Thank you so much.
Ask you to leave if you can now, please, to make room for the next team.
All right, thank you.
Judges, as you make the votes, we're going to cue in the next video to try to optimize time and make sure the audio is running.
Fans at the stadium also get from the top then. From the top? Sure. Okay. Elevating fan experience for visually impaired individuals and other people at the stadium as well through an app. An application that's going to provide commentary for individuals that are visually impaired and others that choose to use it also provides replays and announcements at the stadium. The problem is visually impaired individuals, when they're at the stadium, they can't see what's happening play for play, and so they miss out on some of the fan experience. Also, fans at the stadium can sometimes get distracted and miss out on certain things that are happening at the stadium, and announcements are missed, and fan experiences for actions and activations that are happening around the stadium are also missed, decreasing the fan experience. The solution is an application that provides live commentary at the stadium so that the visually impaired individuals and others that choose to use this commentary can have an enhanced fan experience. Also, replays of actions can be provided on this application so that individuals that miss certain things can get to see them because they can't be shown on the big screen because they distract the referees. And finally, announcements will be provided on the application. They will look like this. You'll get the commentary in different languages in the announcements, and the replays will be put on minute for minute, and you can just click on them, and every 5 minutes, new replays will be updated onto the screen. And here, the major sporting events will be our market, mostly football. We're specifically targeting the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, and as time now advances, the football is now coming back, so we're looking at Qatar Football Association. And the fan experience, what makes this difference is that the fan experience here is overall, it targets people with that are visually impaired. The commentary is going to be live. It's going to be, there won't be a time lag between what's happening in the stadium and the commentary, and people get to experience all the activations happening around the stadium. And the business model is we're going to be looking at the football competitions that are happening locally, and moving forward we're going to be growing towards the World Cup. And the team is me, Aboud, a graduate of sports science, the top graduate of Qatar University, and worked in commentary and worked with Paris Saint-Germain in announcements in many stadiums. Khalid is a graduate of sports science and now doing his master's in sports management, and we are Smart Venue.
Thank you so much, Aboud. That was quite impressive, to be honest, because believe it or not, that was not audio, that was him taking it without any preparation. So really appreciate it. Now we will do 2 minutes for questions and answers.
I don't understand how the video replay might happen. You're recording the video, I guess, from the game, and you're allowing individuals to actually rewind it for themselves individually and play it over their smartphones. And what exactly is going on?
It will be through broadcasting. The videos will be uploaded, just the replays will be uploaded through communicating with those that have the rights for it.
So the replays are what the broadcasting organization has put in place. The user can't request a replay individually.
No, the replays will be put on with the time, and so that, for example, something happened within the last 5 minutes, you'll be able to see it, so that there's not replays for everything on there.
You mentioned about the app. It seems the app unites both visually impaired and then ordinary, let's say, person, right? So Does your UX or UI take that into account? For example, let's say visually impaired may not necessarily know what to press or what to write. How you will be able to help him to navigate through your app, right? Why
So
not
yeah,
accept this?
go on.
Right. So I just want to understand how fluid is the UI or UX in this case for both people. How do you differentiate?
Yeah, you will have the option from the very beginning of usage of the app. The interface will be different depending on who uses it.
Okay, so from the front, I'll be able to choose. Okay, thank you.
Exactly, just like picking a language, English, Arabic, you get to pick from the very top.
Thank you so much, Aboud, and sorry for the challenges. You did great despite them. We're up on the 2 minutes. So now is the final team to take the votes on for the judges. For Team Smart Venue, thank you for joining us. You may leave now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Apart from Indica and Johan, everyone else has voted. The votes are well received. You may take a break, and Johan and Indica, as soon as we receive yours, you may take a break as well until 5:30. Thank you.